morning everyone and welcome to another patch note. This is the patch 5.5 and yes, this was pretty close to the patch 5.4, so without further ado, let us begin. So we have a couple of champion changes in this patch. A lot of quality of life kind of upgrades for tanks mainly. They added the Bard, the new champion Bard. You can go see the champion spotlight on YouTube. So for Azir, they made it so his ability to be able to his ability to take CS and harassing at the same time a bit harder. They increased the range of his soldiers' attack, but they reduced the spear pass-through range, meaning he will not be able to hit the minion and the champion anymore. Well, except if the other champion is like really close to the minion. But now his poking plus CSing at the same time is not going to be as easy as before. Bug fix for Gangplank. They buff Gragas jungle by buffing his W by 50 damage. Bug fix for Karma, Karthus. They reverted a bit of Kassadin's nerfs. His ultimate now is going to be so spammable in the late game with 2-second cooldown, meaning if you have max CDR you can use it every second basically. And also the range got buffed and the mana cost went down by 10, meaning he will now be able to use his ultimate more properly and will be able to spam it a lot more. They nerfed Lissandra's Q, which will basically nerf her poke potential. They shifted Nautilus's strength from his shield, his W, towards his E. If you look at the cooldowns now, you can see that 5 seconds in the late game is not a lot for Nautilus because he can easily build CDR when he builds Frozen Heart, for example, or he can take runes or masteries, etc. So they shifted his power towards his E more. I will not be surprised if we see a lot more Nautilus top now because he will be able to be a tank spamming CC in the late game. Well, he was kind of a tank spamming CC, but they buffed his ability to be that more. So they kind of tweaked Nidalee's damage on her traps. Though I kind of question this 200 damage in the late game for a single trap is quite a lot alongside her ability power. Though actually I'm honestly not a big Nidalee player, so I wouldn't know if this is a lot compared to before, but just know that they changed Nidalee's ability power, damage. They made it so Rek'Sai's tunnel they are more intuitive how you use them, like which one is going to get destroyed if you use a new tunnel, or how many tunnels you have, like when you place wards. For Shyvana, they buffed her attack damage on her E. Well, now when you auto attack someone that you just use your E on, you will now hit them 0.5% harder per auto attack. So this scales pretty well with her Q. They fix a bug on Singed. They shifted the spammability of Cyan's E towards his Q, so now his Q costs less mana in the later ranks, and also deals a bit more damage. While his E got a bit of a mana nerf because they cost more in the late game. But honestly, this is not that well. It is quite something because Cyan doesn't build that much mana. They buffed a lot of Skarner's numbers, so he will hurt a lot more now. So blah blah. Okay, so her ultimate will not cost as much in the late game. You will be able to use your ultimate even though you spam spells now. Well, depending on how much you spam them. Bug fix on Soraka. So now every time you hit someone with the explosive charge on them, you will reduce Tristana's Q rapid fires cooldown by 1 second. This is pretty cool because you will be able to by spamming auto attacks on turrets which you planted an explosive charge on. You will be able to spam your Q more. So this is going to increase Tristana's pushing potential by a lot. Trundle, these changes, these buffs actually will make Trundle jungle way more viable than before. They changed the passive range by, like, they increased it by 400, which matches the XP range, and also they increased by a lot his healing amplification. In the early levels, it used to be 8, now it's 20, so it's more than 100% buff on his W. This is going to make Trundle more sustainable in the jungle. Bug fix. Okay, and the changes they did on Urgot, they shifted his power on his W towards the mana he has instead of like just a base number. So this is a pure buff because Urgot players used to, well, they build mana most of the time, like 90% of the time they build mana. So this is obviously a big buff to Urgot, and also his ultimate will be more will have a lower cooldown in the later ranks. Varus's Q now is like Lux's E. When you start to charge it, the cooldown starts at that moment. It doesn't start when you throw it anymore. So now when you charge up your Q and you fire it at like the max waiting time, you could be throwing another Q sometime like sooner after, instead of having to wait the full cooldown. They increased the missile speed on Veigar's Q. 2000 is actually a lot, I believe. I wouldn't have any comparison for you guys right now, so we'd have to like do some research about that. Okay, so now Event Horizon, it spawns after 0.5 second of casting it. This will make Veigar more reliable with his stun. Just so you guys can compare, a Thresh's box, a Thresh ultimate is 0.75 delay before the wall appear. So this is faster than a Thresh ultimate. Also, those are deserved nerfs on Vi. Obviously, her gank level 6 was nearly a guaranteed kill on anyone, because the damage Vi has at level 6 is a lot, and she has a lot of CC also. So this is some well-deserved nerfs. Bug fix for Victor. Okay, so Volibear jungle is now easier. Same thing for this guy, Xin. His jungle sustain is better now. You heal by more. Well, in the early ranks, you heal by 4 more, and the damage in the late game got buffed. This is pretty new for me. I actually do not play Zac that much, so a reservoir concept is something we would have to test out in order to see how this affects Zac. Like, obviously, since they add a reservoir to Zac, this is going to be a buff, but by how much, it would have to be tested. But this is a clear buff to his elastic slingshot, 1 second knockback cooldown instead of 0.5 second. Zillion's Q got buffed. Now you can use your QWQ combo at level 2, which is pretty awesome. Well, instant QWQ, because you could use it, but you'd had to wait 2 seconds. Okay, so texture, rebalance, blah blah blah. Luden's Echo. This is pretty much a static shivs, but for mages, well, casters. Note that this will not be applied on auto attacks, but more on spells that you cast. So this is purely for people who cast spells. You can use it on Ezreal if you build him well, for this kind of playstyle. This item is like, if we get rid of the charges, like, I mean the electric thingy that comes out every 100 charges, the 120 AP and the 7% movement speed, all by themselves, like those two by themselves, is quite a lot on one item, because now it makes champion who lack movement speed, like in well, sorry, I'll rephrase that. It makes champion who lack movement speed in the caster role more efficient, because they will now move faster, obviously, and it also makes champions who move, like who relies on positioning and who relies on poking and moving a lot, like Ari. This is going to make them a lot more powerful, because they will be able to abuse that. And now if we add in the poke potential and wave clear potential on this new static shiv like spell, overall this item is really good on casters. So now the sweeping lens is 75-second cooldown instead of 60-second. I wouldn't be surprised if people would spam a lot more the upgraded yellow trinket to like the pink trinket. I already see a lot of people do that. I myself already do that, so I'm expecting more people doing that. Okay. So for jungle items, well, they shouldn't have put this into a jungle item, because this is more like a general item. So this will be used to upgrade to Sunfire's cape. Okay, so it's basically a mini Sunfire cape. Okay, you get it from a ruby crystal plus 600 gold. It gives you 300 health. And also it gives you like a tiny Sunfire cape, which is better on minions and monsters. So obviously, for junglers who have a hard time, or for tank junglers who have a hard time clearing the jungle, or for laner, or for tank laners who have a hard time clearing the wave, this item is going to be perfect for them. For like example, Shen is having a hard time clearing the jungle and clearing top lane, so this item would be perfect for Shen, just to name an example there. So now this item will replace Juggernaut, and this item is also upgraded from Bami's Cinder. Is there anything different? Well, it gives the Emulate from the Bami Cinder. And like I said earlier, Sunfire Cape upgrades from Bami Cinder. They buff Raptor's Cloak. Also, if you run towards if you run near a fallen turret, meaning one of your turret. Well, actually, no, they just say fallen turret. So any fallen turret would give you a lot. It would give you some movement speed. They don't give us the exact number, but we can easily test out in a game. This is going to be pretty good when you siege, because after you get a turret, let's say you were melee, or even if you were ranged, depending on the range of this passive there, if you were melee, after clearing a turret, you will be able to run away easier, or you will be able to run towards a noob that was staying to protect a turret that was going to die anyway. So this is pretty good. Okay, for ZZ Rod Portal, honestly, I'm really not a big fan of Riot adding this item into the game. I do not see any counterplay for this item. Like, you cannot do anything about it except destroy it or wait until it goes away after 150 seconds, I think. So I'm really not a big fan of this item. I really do not know why Riot added this item, especially after they added this Bami Cinder. So like, this item, you just basically leave it there and you can go away. Like, and you force anybody to have to come, because the wave will push by itself, like on it, like, yeah, by itself. So this item, I really don't know, but I'll say that it got buffed. It also gives the falling turret, near falling turret movement speed. The void spawns, they got buffed by a lot. More than twice the damage. Twice the damage on structures, and more than twice the damage on non-structures. Also, the decay after 5.5 seconds instead of 4, and blah blah blah. Wrecker now gives you the movement speed also. So Righteous Glory gives you more health. Banner of Commander said nothing about it. I really question this change by Riot. Like, why would you make the hardest turrets in the game the lowest rewarding turrets to destroy. So now instead of giving 175 gold like other turrets, they give only 50, and they also do not give any experience to teammates. Well, to the global team. So I really question why the hardest turret in the game is the least rewarding turret. So like this is counterintuitive for, well, for me there, or for anyone, I think. Blah, blah, blah. Well, same thing for Nexus turrets, which are even harder to destroy. Okay, this was so predictable the moment they released the shield turrets. Like, you had no reason to release any shield turrets anyway. So now instead of giving 200, the top lane and bottom lane will give only 30, which is like nearly nothing. Like, it will save you from any dot when you run into them after a fight or something, but except than that, 30 HP is really not that much. It could be like team fight changing or like between life or death, but 30 is not that much overall. And the middle turret does not give any shield anymore, so poke teams will have an easier time pushing the mid lane. But the inner turret's health got buffed by 300, so champions will now be easier to kill under the turret, but the turrets themselves will be harder to kill. Minions health, overall, it, like, if you're concerned about CSing, do not worry, because they modified the turrets to be equivalent to what they were before in comparison to minions. So last hitting will stay the same, but know that the minions health got increased, so well, they do not get increased by a lot, but still it is going to be a tiny bit harder to push. Jungle camps got way more rewarding. The camps do way less damage than before, 7 less damage, 10, etc. And they also give a lot more gold. Well, I say a lot, but actually 5 gold on a jungler is something that any jungler would take, I think. They modified the Grumps camp, so now it scales better with items instead of level. So this is pretty good for people who play with pets like well, this is pretty good buff for Shaco's, because taking the crab will now increase his clone's movement speed, which will make it also less how would I say that, less visible to see which is the clone and which is the real Shaco. Okay, so visual rebalance, blah blah blah. Okay, and that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the patch note rundown, you can also subscribe to my channel, thumbs up the video, and share this video with as many people as you can. Remember to follow me on Twitter at czg_wisdom. I'm really sorry guys if the video today was not up par with quality wise, up par with the other videos I did before, because actually today, honestly, I just read the patch note, and also I am sick, so sorry for the voice and sorry for the hesitation. Yeah, thank you guys again for listening.